So you already knew that Trump was going to approve this one, right? So there was a trade alert here that you find worldwide in the bot. Okay, Quantum bot. This stock, US Steel, reached price target, sold 100%, 53.33. You find this published everywhere, so it is global, worldwide, and risk-free. So if you wish to learn more about why and how to invest in US Steel, well, I started more than 20 years ago, and I published, N case studies, starting with junk rating on US Steel a long time ago. In fact, I believe it was last century, at the price of $192 to $220. And then what happened, I still remember, is that US Steel crashed down to almost single digits. This was in 2009, if I'm not mistaken, 2000, yeah. And then we upgraded to strong buy, and then we published case studies. I remember that US Steel then rallied back to $60. We sold, so everyone turned bullish, saying that the US Steel was going then back to $100. So we downgraded it to strong sell. It crashed, melted, and this to resume down to single digits. And then we published inside upgrading US Steel to strong buy. That was around, if I'm not mistaken, below $7 to $5. The bottom it was around $4 or so. So no one wanted to invest in US Steel, and our rating it was strong buy. This was, if I'm not mistaken, 4 years ago or so. Okay, but you have to check the history because I don't remember. What I do know is that this company is not worth more than this price, and in my opinion, this was very simple to learn that Donald Trump was going to approve this one. You know the history. US Steel back with the predecessor Biden. Biden had a completely different view, and so Donald Trump is not difficult to see that Trump was going to do precisely the opposite. So in this case, you just had to have a position on to be patient. You didn't know exactly on the day that was going to happen, but you knew that the probability for it to happen, it was very high. Okay, so our job in this company, US Steel, after over 2 decades, terminated. Congratulations to everyone. I'm not, or I didn't have here any substantial position. On the contrary, because my role in the US stock market, or my interest, in fact, is not, I don't have any interest whatsoever following stocks or cryptos anymore, or anything in particular. But everyone knows that the most recent, all this that you are seeing is extremely simple. I don't have any interest in this in particular, but everyone knows that my most recent interests, they focused on a company called CoreWeave, a hidden gem, buying shares at 36 all the way up to $116. And then you can see it here that this is from the streaming sessions. I announced profit taking at $116. So again, everyone, I already knew that was going to happen. And the other, it was the case, or it has been, in fact, the case of this company here, United Health. That has been my major short position. Everyone knows why. So that was my interest, or that has been my interest in the US stock market in the past couple of months, but letting you know what was going to happen. Okay, so I have to go, and I wish you everyone a wonderful long weekend. In particular, Americans, mine too. Well, but I don't know. I don't work. I never work. And what else to say? You have plenty of market calls free of charge, 100% accurate in quantum computing stocks, including this one. It is already down. But this does not matter. You have in today. You had in, for example, you had in Vertex Pharmaceuticals. You had in D-Wave Quantum over 400% gain. Xpeng, wonderful opportunity over 300%. Rigetti Computing everywhere. Okay, so even in forex markets, Visionary Holdings, that meanwhile collapsed. You already knew about this, and that's it. All right, so bye.